Good morning, everyone. Now, if you're all ready, we'll make a start. All the online students, just tell me yes so that we can proceed. Just start. Okay, right. Now, let us proceed. See, in our program, already 4 days are over. Now, we have completed few issues. What are the issues that we have completed till now? Maybe day one, we have started with registration. Then day two, we have seen the navigation of few important activities in the portal. Then day three, some written filing basics we have seen. Then when it comes to day 4, maybe I have practically shown you how to fill the template. At the end, given a discussion relating to debit notes and credit notes also. So hope that you have done that related practice. For all the online students, I have sent you the data. Template is available, everything is fine. So just you have to practice it on offline also. Anyway, I am following it up. Now, debit notes and credit notes, if related work was not done, please ensure that that work also gets completed. Okay, right. Now, today we are going to look after two aspects, sir. One is export related, because till now we have not seen any exports related. If at all there are exports, how we should deal, how we should show in our template, we have not seen. Similarly, I am going to take sales of a retail mart. So if at all, if you observe about a retail mart where they sell number of products and everything at different rates, within a day only multiple transaction happens. So we should know how we report in our sales data. Let me give you one small clarity and then proceed, sir. Sir, when I say GST returns monthly or quarterly, usually two things will be there, sir. GSTR 1 and GSTR 3B. So these are the main things. 2B, you will not create anything, sir. It will be reflected based on others sales. It will be reflected as purchases in your account. So thereby, what we have to understand is only GSTR 1 and 3B. 2B is only for viewing purpose. I'll give you some 2Bs also later on for viewing purpose. Our main concentration will be on filing GSTR 1 and GSTR 3B. Let me tell you, 80% of the knowledge is required mainly for filing GSTR 1. GSTR 3B, there a little understanding is sufficient. Why I am telling like that is, when we create anything, we will create only in GSTR 1, sir. GSTR 3B, what will happen is, based on the data that we have given, based on the data auto reflected, it will only make auto calculations, auto import, and then communicate some tax liability. We have to just check whether we are agreeing with that computations or not. If at all changes are there, we can make slight changes. Tax apportionment also, in other words, tax credit utilization also, in a default way portal will do, but there are some other ways possible, so possible also. So these minute adjustments only you will do in GSTR 3. Sir, are you understanding my point? So main discussion will be on GSTR 1 only. Only 20% of the written filing discussion will be there on GSTR 3B. That's why when I have taken any type of businesses, maybe first day I have taken a regular business, next day maybe just with debit note and credit notes. Today we are going to look after another two aspects. I am not focusing more on 3B now, because first you should be clear in filling one, because if you are good at filling one only, then you can understand what will be auto reflected to you. Then only you can have that net effect also, 3B also. So what I would like to plan is, I have given different returns, details also in the schedule. What I would like to do is, as planned we will proceed, but based on the time only we will just discuss 3B or not in the first 10 days. But when we come to second and third month, where we have allocated 5 days, what I will do is, suppose first you have done Saturday, you have done some work. What you have done, maybe entered all the bills and then started practicing. In second month, I'll give you the data, but this time not in, I will give you PDFs, and I'll give you related main Excel data also. That means if you type the basic details, you'll get some Excel. No, that Excel directly I'll share with you. Then the main analysis, if you do, it is sufficient. Sorting out, then copying it in B2C, B2C large, then HSN summary, documents issued. Like that, if you just copy it from Excel, it is sufficient, because Filling the data is monotonous activity, whereas extracting the required data, you should be perfect. So from next month, you have to spend time in extracting the allocated data. This month almost we will be able to complete 7 to 8 returns. So in this 7 to 8 type of returns, next month what I will be doing, if at all it is already in Excel, that Excel I will provide you. If at all I am giving in PDFs and some bills, the related data will be written in Excel and then forwarded to you from the next month, along with the physical bills also, so that you can save your time of just typing the monotonous data. So that is what going to happen. So that definitely some saving will be there. So then definitely some saving is going to happen, some time will be saved. At that time, we are having time for 1 and 3b. If you observe our schedule, we have planned in such a way that next month 5 days, 3 days we have focused for GSTR 1, another 2 days for GSTR 3b. So there are special times where we can focus. So that knowledge is very much sufficient. So don't think that we are not going and properly filing a return. 3b is the time of filing the return. First we should be very very good in filling GSTR 1. That's the main activity. So hope you understood that point. Now with that clarity, now let me proceed to next one, that is export of goods and services. Hello, what is that? Export of goods and services. What is this export of goods and services, sir? I think you know about exports, right? It's not anything new. You know what is this exports, etc. But we have to understand clearly what is the meaning of export of goods as well as export of services. Let me start. First, export of goods. Sir, for this also there was a definition. Now you should understand that everything we have to learn as per act only. So export only, no, we can understand straight away. No, no, no. Still there may be some issues in the definition. Unless we learn as per the definition, there is a chance of mistakes. So let me tell you what is exports as per our act. It was given in which act means IGST, because what will be labeled IGST only. I have already explained you on that day. So thereby under IGST Act, how it is defined, sir? Let me show you. So export of goods with its grammatical variations and cognate expressions. Now look at the main part which is required. So what they are telling, sir, means taking goods out of India to a place outside India. That means if you take goods from India and if you take it outside India, then definitely it is what? Export. So they are not attaching any conditions. If goods are gone from India to a country outside India, it is simply called as what? Export. Sir, can we have the track of export of goods? Why not? Goods has to be exported. Na customs first you have to reach customs. No, so customs will have track of every export that you do, because physically it will travel to them. No, so without customs you cannot transfer to another country. So thereby definitely they will have a record of each and everything. So thereby they simply say only one point: if the goods were traveling from India to a place outside India, it is called as what? Export of goods, given in section 2 subsection 5. Then what is this export of services, sir? Now listen carefully, the definition has become bigger. Export of services under section 2 subsection 6 IGST Act. Now let me read it for you first, then I'll explain. Export of services means the supply of any service when the supplier of service is located in India. The recipient of service is located outside India. You have to observe where the supplier is located in India. Recipient is outside the India. The place of supply of service is outside the India, that we have already discussed. Now look at the fourth and fifth points. The payment for such service has been received by the supplier of service in convertible foreign exchange. Sir, you should have received the payment in convertible foreign exchange. Otherwise, it is not considered as export. What you are telling, sir? In other words, you should have received in dollars, you should have received in euros, you should have received in any foreign currency. Otherwise, it is not exports. Sir, why a condition like this is framed? Sir, if it is export of goods, I think we can have it tracking right easily. Definitely it has to pass through customs department. But if it is export of services, maybe I have done a WhatsApp call or a maybe Zoom call and then provided service to a person there in other country. Now service is done, I can raise a billing and it will be completed. Do you think customs will come to know about this? No. But generally you should know, in the case of exports, what will happen is ultimately tax incidence will be zero. Hello, what is that? Tax incident. Tax you need not pay. So many people they try to frame wrongly it as exports, though it may not be a export. That's why what do they say? They attach some conditions to call it as an export. Prove me these things. For goods, all these things not required because we can clearly understand. For services, these things are required. Supplier should be located in India. Prove it. Recipient should be outside India. Prove it. Place of supply is outside India. Prove it. Payment of such service has been received in convertible foreign exchange, or in Indian rupees were permitted by RBI. Maybe in some countries officially also Indian rupees will be there. So considering all those things, but mainly it should be received in convertible foreign exchange. And the supplier of service and recipient of service are not merely establishments of a distinct person. Sometimes you will have branches or stock godowns, etc. It need not be like that, a normal sales. That is what the point. More about distinct person we will learn later, now not required, that's a separate point. But have a basic understanding. To call it as an export of services, there are many conditions that we check. Particularly the important one, the payment should be received in foreign exchange, then only you will call it as. So hope it is clear. See how you are giving in invoice, that's another issue, sir. Payment should be received. Shipping bill, you have to observe. In shipping bill, what is the currency? Right. Now, let me proceed next, sir. Right. So, if it is with respect to exports, which tax will be levied, sir? IGST. Hello. Which tax will be levied? IGST will be levied. Okay, sir. Understood. IGST will be levied. That means, really, are you going to pay the tax? Is the tax incident going to be there on you? That is what I've said you. Exports na important for a country. They will earn more foreign exchange. They'll try to provide as much benefits as possible. Yes or no? So ultimately, they want to make the impact of tax incidence for exports zero. If you are exporter, I will help you. I will make your taxes zero. You earn me more foreign currency exchange for our country. That is sufficient. That's why for exports, there are some benefits, sir. So let me proceed, sir. Now look into the table given here. In the case of exports, you have two options, sir, with respect to tax payments. How many options are there? Two options. What are those two options, sir? Let me explain. Option number one, pay tax and then get GST refund. Option number two, don't pay the tax. So what is this, sir? What are these two options? First, let me talk about this option number one. Then I will move to option number two. Now, please observe, under option number one, we will pay the tax and then we get it as a refund. Now, let me take some data. Let us say there was an export turnover. How much, sir? 8 lakhs. 8 lakhs into 12%, that means what is your liability? 96,000. Because IGST will be levied at the rate of 12%, it is 96,000. Now, maybe definitely some input tax credit might have been there, no? In other words, for making these exports, you might have done some purchases, no? For making these exports, you might have done some purchases on which you might have paid taxes. Yes or no? Now, understand one thing. You have paid taxes already. Now that you can take it as credit. The rest you have to pay to the government. Now, please observe. That means 43,500 you have used, sir, out of 96,000. Balance you have to pay. What is this 43,500? It may be on inputs, it may be on input services, it may be on capital goods. For providing for manufacturing anything, I may require some inputs, raw materials, input services, some services may be taken, capital goods, some assets may be required. So that is what they are telling. On all this, I can claim ITC. If it is what's option number one. On all, I can claim ITC. Now, what is the net tax payable? 52,000. You have to pay it. Then how much you will get as refund, sir? 52,000. The answer is no. You are not going to get refund 52,000. You will get 96,000. Sir, why am I getting 96,000? Now observe carefully. How much tax you have paid to department? Tell me, sir. 52,500. Now, tax utilized how much, sir? 43,500. Credit utilized. What is 43,500? You have paid taxes at the time of purchase. What government has said? I will make tax impact on you zero. What does it matter whether it is on purchases or sales? Ultimately, they are levying tax, no? Though you are utilizing, that means you have paid there, no? So thereby, to make zero impact for you, they will not give you only 50 to 500. They'll give you this 43 500 also. Together is what? That is what the refund. Are you getting the point, sir? That means the tax you are paying at the time of sale is 52,500. The tax you have paid at the time of purchase is 43,500. Together is how much? 96. Entirely go and take a refund. You're getting the point, sir. That is what option one, where we get both the tax that we have paid and then the credit utilized. Everything as what's tax paid. So are you getting the point? As a refund we will be getting. But be careful, if it is domestic turnover, to that extent you will not get refund. Suppose here there was some sales in the local also, because no entity may do only export sales. They may also do local sales also. If on local sales they have any tax liability, for them definitely they have to pay. Only with respect to export only this will happen. Hope you have understood the option 1. Now what is option 2, sir? Don't pay the tax. Tax itself will be zero for you. Sir, that means this option is only better now. We need not go further also. This option is very, very good now. I will not pay tax later. What? But what about that input tax credit? The tax that you have paid at the time of purchase. Okay. Anyway, first of all, on export, are you paying anything? No. So observe carefully what they say. In second scenario, first you need not pay the tax. But let me tell you, sir, if you want to take up this option, first you have to furnish something called as LUT. What is that? Letter of undertaking. So there is something called as LUT, letter of undertaking, without filing which you cannot take this option. Letter of undertaking, that means you have to communicate to the government, sir, so I will be taking exports and so place, definitely I'll be receiving foreign currency. So like that, if you communicate some details, if you acknowledge something, then definitely they'll allow you to without export the goods without paying the tax. Are you getting the point, sir? So this is called second option, where you will not pay the tax. In second option, if you observe, tax will be nil, sir. Then input tax credit, that means at the time of purchase you might have done some input tax credit, no? Yes or no? So what is that input tax credit, sir? Maybe on 1 lakh you will get 12%. On input services also you might have got something. Then what is this net tax payable? Net tax payable will be nil only. First of all, tax liability only not there. Sir, what about this tax credits, sir? ITC. Now already I have paid at the time of purchases. Today, can I get it as a refund? The answer is yes. To this extent, you can get it as a refund. Now, what about tax credit on capital goods, sir? Let me tell you. On this also, tax credit will be there, just like what was there in previous scenario. But why I have shown it as zero, I'll tell you. So 18,000 tax credit may be there, but you will not get it as a refund. If you take the second option with respect to capital goods, you will not be allowed refund. Maybe if you have any other tax liability, you can use that to adjust it. That's all. There is domestic sales on that, if taxes are to be paid, okay, this can be used. Are you getting the point, sir? But you cannot get that as a refund. With respect to capital goods, if there is a some ITC, that you cannot get it as a refund. You can just use it. That's all. Is that clear? So two options are there. In first option, what is the benefit? Whatever we pay, we'll get it. Second option, with respect to capital goods alone, you cannot get it. But the point is, first you are not paying anything at all. You're not paying anything. So which option is preferable, sir? Both are fine actually. It's you who have to select. If there is more tax on capital goods that you have paid at the time of purchases, and you don't, if you have sufficient turnover, that means which can be where this can be used to pay the other taxes, then no problem. Happily go and go for option 2, because for exports we are not paying anything. Whatever we have paid at the time of purchase also we are getting back. This is best. In option 1, you will get everything as refund, but only disadvantage is first we have to pay and then we have to get it. Opportunity cost, money, interest will be lost. First we have to pay, later on we have to get it. You will get everything with respect to capital goods also, but there will be a time gap. So most of the times many entities may not prefer option 1. Are you getting the point, sir? Most of the entities, they may not prefer option 1. Both are available. May not prefer option 1, but they may prefer option 2 mostly. But in option 2, you have to observe when you have purchased any input service, when you have any ITC, sir, it is that ITC you can get it as refund only with respect to what's export turnover. You cannot get it as for zero rated turnover. So this is net ITC 0 by adjusted. Suppose there is domestic turnover of here export turnover is 8 lakhs actually, but liability is 0. Suppose there is domestic or local sales of 4 lakhs, then what the formula will be is 23,500 into 8 lakhs by 12 lakhs, 8 lakhs plus 4 lakhs. That means proportionate ITC only will be allowed to you as a refund. Are you getting the point, sir? Proportionate ITC, because when you have got both local sales as well as export sales, your input service also might have been used proportionately. No, that's why we will also give you refund also proportionately. That is the point when you go for this option. So is that clear? So like the two options, ultimately remember there are two options available. What are the two options? First option, pay the tax and then get the refund. Second option, you need not pay the tax only. Are you getting the point now? So I have already communicated that we should furnish what's our LUT. Hello, we should furnish what LUT. Now I'll communicate. I will show you in the portal only how to furnish LUT also. Within 2 minutes, I'll communicate how to furnish LUT, because no client will know that how to furnish LUT. Sir. It is you who have to do everything. You cannot say no. I will file only return LUT. You only go and apply like that. You cannot say. You have to do every activity incidental also. So thereby, I will show you how to furnish LUT also. But before that, let me complete this last one and then we'll proceed. Now, if you observe whether it is option 1 or option 2, are we really paying any taxes on a net basis? Really, are we paying any taxes? No. That's why what do we communicate is tax incidence is 0. Tax incidence is 0, because in option 1, what we pay we are getting as refund. What is our input tax credit also we are getting as refund. In option 2 also we are not paying anything first. Input tax is paid also will be getting as a refund, except on capital goods which can be used for taxes. That's all. Ultimately, tax incidence is 0. That's why they communicate one thing, sir. Section 16 of the IGST Act, it talks about zero rated supplies. Hello, what is that? Zero rated supplies. Zero rated supply means any of the following supplies of goods or service or both, namely export of goods or service or both, or supply of goods or service of both to a SEZ developer or a SEZ unit. Are you getting the point? In other words, these were brought under the definition of zero rated supplies. Are you getting the point? But we will have a separate tab in template for filling. Now you have to understand nil rated is different, sir. Nil rate means tax is there, but on that 0%. Percentage is 0. That is what nil rated. Here, ultimately incidence only 0. That's why we call it as zero rated. Originally tax will be there, but because of the special benefits provided to those exports as well as any SEZ units also, there also we want to develop. That's why for them, whatever services we provide, we would like to call as zero rated supply. So if wherever you see zero rated supply, don't think it is anything new. It is once again the exports. Hope you have understood export of goods, services, and then the option that we have, and then ultimately what is the meaning of zero rated supply. Now let me quickly show you how to furnish that LUT. Hello, how to furnish LUT, the letter of undertaking. So 1 minute. Right. So I think the screen is visible to you. Is it okay, or shall I zoom it? Visible clearly? Okay, right. So hope the online students, for you also it is visible. Okay, right. Now please observe, sir. where we have to furnish our LUT. If you remember, on second day I have given you the important activities and telling its navigation. I think this is one of the activity that I have communicated, furnishing LUT. Where it will be available, sir? Go to services, under that user services, under that furnish LUT. Are you getting the point? Services, user services, and then furnish LUT. Okay, right, understood, sir. Now let me tell you, when it is, if it is registration, you remember how many fields you have filled. So almost it is 7 to 8 pages that you have filled data. But LUT in a very very simple, one page only we will fill. How many? One page. Just it is a mere communication to the department that I want to go for without taxes, an official way of communicating. Now, so first, what you have to select year, because LUT is applicable for every year, sir. That means when you are applying, if you apply for a year, once sufficient. You need not apply for every transaction. Once you have applied, that is sufficient. That means you have an LUT. Okay, right. So thereby 20 to 23, let us assume I am selecting. Hello, are you getting the point? Now they are asking you to upload a document. What is that? Okay, let me proceed, sir. So first you have to select the year, then you have to select previous LUT, if any. Previous LUT means what, sir? Last year if you have submitted any. But do you think last year submission is it compulsory? No. So thereby it may be there or may not be there. This is not a mandatory field. Hello, this is not a mandatory field. If it is there, you please submit. That copy might have been there. If it is not there, you please leave it. Absolutely not required. That's why red mark is not there. It is not mandatory. If you are having it, you can fill it. Then letter of undertaking for export of goods or services. Sir, what is this, sir? Information is hidden there. Okay, it is rule 96A. Hello, we'll get as per what, sir? Rule 96A. So what is there in the information which is blurred, sir? Now you can understand by default, wherever it is blurred, that means some personal information was there. Their GSTA number might have been there, or their name, other personal details were there. So first here they will communicate GST number, sir. Then later on some personal details will be there. So hope it is clear. Now please observe, there will be three boxes, sir, that we have to tick it. What are the three boxes? First, select it. To export the goods or services supplied without payment of IGST within the time specified. Like that, you have to first agree, sir. Now, please allow me to export without payment of tax. Like that. Second, to observe all the provisions of GST Act and rules made thereunder in respect of export of goods or services. That means you should follow, you should comply with all the rules and regulations which were given for exports. Then, if at all, in the event of failure to export the goods or services, that means really export not happened, I have sold somewhere else, then maybe you have to pay the taxes, or any conditions not satisfied also, you have to pay the integrated tax thereon. In the event of failure to export, in the event of fail, in the event of failure to export the goods or services along with an amount equal to 18% interest from the date the tax was not paid, from the date of invoice till the date of payment. Like that, just you have to tick three boxes, sir. Select the year, tick those three boxes, then come down. I or we declare that this undertaking is given in the orders of the proper officer for the performance of an act in which the public are interested. So we are giving an undertaking like this, that everything is true, we will follow. In the witness thereof, these presents have signed the day. Previously, it used to be physically where everybody used to write the agreements. If you are agreeing for something, generally who are required? Witnesses are required. Yes or no? But now it is not physical, no, online, no. That's why still they ask for witness. Two witnesses are required, because without payment of tax you are sending, no. It's like you taking a loan from government only. Of course, you need not pay it, but still you are escaping from payment of taxes. For that, they ask some other to give witness, so that they will have a clarity of a really genuine person, like that. So that witness is also required, sir. This transaction happened like that. So two persons' names you have to enter. Two witnesses. How many witnesses are required? Two witnesses. Just type some data. PAN data also nowhere required. So they are just witness. No, they are not earning any income. So thereby some random data is okay. I'm just typing, I'm just showing to you. So I'm just typing my name. It need not be as per PAN, all those things not required. Wherever mandatory columns are there, just go and fill it. I think once you have done registration, filling any personal data becomes very very simple because there only more detail will be there. They all are very very small only. It's okay. So just road, then select the city, state. You please select AP, then district also you please select. Into pin code you please type something 522002. Okay, this is witness 1. Now I'll move to witness 2. So I'm just typing some random name. So once again, you have to give some flat numbers, and I'm just showing you how to fill. That's all. I'm not giving any real data. So these are just some random data. So just type that. Then select the state. Once again, district. Then once again, the pin code. Now, date of filing LUT, like that something was given if you observe. Nothing but today's date. When you are filing anything, that particular day's date will be mentioned, which is 6 to 2023. So place of filing, where you are filing, you have to and mention. So I am filing like this. Then place, this one also same. Just go and fill it your place. Name of primary or other authorized signatory. Just like in the case of registration, the pop-up will be there. If you press that, you will get your own name or the person who is that name will be there that you have to select. I'm not selecting it. So that's all. Designation or status over. Now what is given there? Please observe. Save. That means if you save, details will be saved. Preview means it will be available in the form of a PDF. Sign and file with DSC. Sign and file with EVC. There are two options are always filing, maybe 1 3B or anything in the portal. Two options usually. One is through EVC. EVC in the sense OTP, electronically verified, like that you will be getting OTP. DSC in the sense the digital signature certificates. So if you are if a particular person is unable to provide you OTP, then take their DSC only. That is the best way. Are you getting the point? To make compliances in time. So thereby two options will be there. So that's why both are given. So that means you can understand over. That means if you fill the basic data, you are able to furnish the LUT at the beginning of the financial year. If you furnish that LUT, it is very much sufficient. Is that clear, everybody? But if you want to get the refund, sir, pay tax and then get refund, then you have to submit when you are filing GSTR1, that shipping bill details, etc. also required. Is that clear? Now let me quickly take some bills and show you how to fill in our GSTR template. Are you getting the point, sir? So I will show you some export bills, sir, and then I'll show you how to fill in our format. Yesterday we have filled a few columns like B2B, B2C large, B2C others, documents issued, and then HSN summary. Like that I have shown. Now I will take some more exports and I'll show you in our template where we have to fill. So remember, mark my words. If you are good at filling template, you will easily understand filing of returns, because here Excel tabs are there, sheets are there. In portal, there will be separate tables for each of them. That's all. Otherwise, everything remains the same. We are using offline utility. This template also, have you downloaded from anywhere outside? No. The ST portal only has provided. So where more data is there, everybody will follow this one only. They will not directly record in portal, because in other words, you have to be there online always, and submission will be somewhat difficult. This one we can dump, we can apply filters, we can do any other thing required. So that's why. Now, so if you observe in the tab in this template, sir, you will be having multiple sheets: B2B, B2B amendment, B2C large, B2C large amendment, B2C small, B2C small amendment. CDNR means what, sir? Already explained: credit note and debit note. So that one, that amendment, there for registered one thing will be there, sir. For unregistered one thing, CDNUR means unregistered, R means registered. Credit and debit notes for registered party, credit and debit notes for unregistered party. Like the tabs will be there. Then there comes something called as EXP, exports. What is that? Exports. In this tab we have to fill. So in this tab we have to fill. How we will fill, sir? I'll just show you. Already some random data is there, sir. Now I think it is sufficient for me to explain. So if you observe, first what is there, sir? They're asking the type of export. What is that? Two options are there. WO pay, W pay. What do you mean by this, sir? WO pay means without payment of tax. W pay means with the payment of tax. Now itself I have explained you two options. No, those two options will be reflected there. So are you getting the point? Two options are there. The two options will be reflected. That is without payment of tax as well as with the payment of tax. Okay, sir. Understood. Then you have to fill the invoice number, invoice date, invoice value. I think these three are common, which you can understand. Invoice date, number, and value. Even taxable value also you can understand. Rate also you can understand. Depending on the type of the item, it will be there. Now, these three are the additional things which will be there when compared to a normal invoice. What are those three things, sir? Port code, you are transporting goods to something, no, port code may be applicable. Then shipping bill number, shipping bill date. If it is export of services, maybe related things may not be there. Where you will get shipping bill if it is export of services. So if it is goods, right, it will be applicable. If it is services, it may not be there. So thereby, that may not be mandatory column always. So if you are doing services, it may not be there now. So thereby, it's not a mandatory, but any exports has to be reported here only. There is no column telling that export of goods one column, export of service another column, like that not there. So it is just we have to fill it. Hope you have understood. Now I'll show you practically some invoices how it will be there. Then you will understand. I have already mailed to you all the online students. For offline students, anyway, I'll be providing in system only that details, export bills I have mailed to you, whatever I am going to show now. Let me open and show you. So these are the export bills, sir. Once again, maybe last time I have directly given you bills which we have just done some little modifications, easy for copying. Because now it is sufficient if you understand. That's why we have given limited bills. Limited bills means you can just look at and write, and that many details also not required. You have seen now. Hardly 6 to 7 details are required. Now you have to see and write, sir. You cannot copy it now because I have given an image file where this is the original bill. This is a original bill given for us by the client. But what we have done, we have destroyed all the confidential information. In other words, his name, his contact, email ID, even that customer's name, and that sorry. So that customers also, if there are any contact details, that one. So everything we would like to hide. That's all. Now, let me proceed, sir. If you observe the bill, what was the information given? Invoice number was there. Okay, fine, well and good, sir. Now, date was there. Now, I have destroyed the month also because you please write current month, sir. I have taken export bills relating to various months to cover some issues. So, you take current month, that means January. Wherever month was not given, you please consider as January and fill it when you are writing. So, day was given, date was given, month I have destroyed it. So thereby you type it as 1st Jan 2022. Number was there. This one date also there. You please ignore this, sir. Just consider that date because I have modified. That is what I am telling. Now country. What is the country? Kenya. Okay. So what were sent? Goods or services? Goods. Very very clear. That's why HSN also mentioned. Quantity details, everything there, sir. Now the currency was in dollars. Of course, this is not important. Shipping bill is important, sir. Invoice. So now if you observe, this was the dollars. Now next, have you paid any tax? No. In fact, at the beginning only we might have mentioned. This is a supply meant for export to sales unit or developer or any other operations under LUT without payment of GST. Already we have submitted LUT for this, and based on that only we are. Is that clear, everybody? Right. So this is what I think. Which details to be filled? You have understood, right? Okay. Next, if I come to second invoice also, almost exactly in the same way, sir. Everything will be the same. It's like a practice for you. Just go and fill it. But if you observe in second bill, currency was there in, sorry, this one I have given with payments. So currency was there in what, sir? Is it, if you observe in words, you will understand. It is INR, Indian rupees. Sir, is this an export then? Is it an export then? What is export of goods definition? Export of goods means if from India, if it reaches outside India, that is export only. There is no condition that payment should be received in foreign currency. So remember that point, that is applicable only for services because we cannot track it. For goods, if they just move outside India, that is export. That is what I'm telling. This is an export only. Of course, invoice was there in INR, sir. That is up to you. But maybe I feel that still in shipping bill they might have given in dollars. But anyway, whatever it is, export only. I'm telling, even if it is happening in Indian rupees also, it will be considered as exports because you are sending goods from this country to another country. Because if transaction is there between two parties, one of the currency they have to agree, no? Sometimes our currency also may be there. Are you getting the point, sir? But their foreign exchange will be missing, sir. Foreign currency exchange. Mostly they ask them to go for dollars only. Invoice issuing is different, sir. Maybe once they receive Indian rupees, then conversion will happen at foreign currency, then they will take it. That is what happened. Now leave it, sir. But ultimately, is this an exports or not? Yes. Now, if you observe invoice, supply meant for export to says on payment of IGST. These words are on payment. Second one, you have to select what with the payment of IGST. That is what you have to select. Now, third one, once again, is an export to sir. Sir, from area only you can understand, sir, whether it is export or import. Sorry, export or local. Then once again, here also you are having, sir, here it is there in dollars. Okay, understood, sir. Then next, fourth one, this is also dollars without payment of tax. Sir, you please try it, sir. Fifth one, it is also goods only. Here also without payment of tax. It was, sorry, GST was there, sir. The issue was not given. It was blankets. Okay. So they have given with the tax. GST at the rate. Okay, then you can claim it, sir. It's up to you, sir. Depending on the transaction, whatever you want, you can select it. Both will be there. Now, next, last one. Once again, another one where current it was given in dollars and IGST also is there. You can get it as refund. At last, I have given you one shipping bill sample, sir, because you should know how the bills also should be there. Otherwise, it is not practical learning at all. But only on a note that confidential information cannot be shared, we will hide it, sir. But you will get a feeling that you are doing with the real data. To that extent, I can say. So thereby, that confidential information was hidden and balance all the shipping bill only directly I have given, sir. If you observe, they have asked three details, sir. Particularly when you pay the taxes, port code, shipping bill number, shipping bill date. Do you observe, sir? Port code, shipping bill number, shipping bill date. All these three will be there in the shipping bill. Is that clear? First port code was there here, shipping bill number was there, shipping bill date also was. So that is what, sir, how to write those three. Other are once again basic data. Rather than I showing you like this, if you observe and analyze only, you will have much understanding. Any doubts I can explain. I just want to show you. So understand, you have to select either without or with the payment depending on the invoice. Once you select, then shipping bill details, if you have, you can give it, sir. If you furnish LUT, suppose you are it is without payment of tax, who bothers about it? You don't bother. So thereby then you may not give it. But particularly required if you want to get refund. That means if you have taken first option, definitely mandatory. Otherwise, you will not get refunds also. Are you getting the point? This is the issue with respect to exports. With this, we are closing the exports related discussion. Have you understood, sir? Now, within 5 minutes, let me go to that retail mart also. Retail store, if it was there, how its sales will be there, how we have to fill. So that discussion also I'll be doing, and then we'll completing today's session. This retail mart sales data also I have communicated to you online students. So please observe. I think it was battery trouble almost. So I'll be trying to complete quickly. Just observe, sir. So there was some retail mart data. So if you observe how the data was there, sir, let me show you quickly. Serial number was there, start number, end number. What do you mean by start number and end number? It is nothing but bills data, bill number, invoices number. Bill date was there, sales at the rate 0%. 0% means tax will be there. No. Sales at the rate 5%, tax will be there. Yes, the tax amount also they have given. Sales at the rate 12% given, corresponding tax is also given. Sales at the rate 18%, corresponding tax is also given. Sales at the rate of 28%, if tax anything there, they will on that day it's sold, here it will be available. Are you getting the point, sir? In other words, because retail market means B2B or B2C, B2C, That's why they have not given any personal details, customer number, name, GST number, everything not required. Simply bill number and the amount. Where you have to fill it, sir, B2C. That to where you will fill others. Hello, where you will fill others. In others, if you fill totals, it is sufficient. What you have to do? You what you have to do is make the total of each column, sales column, 0%, 5%, 12%, 28%. If you make the totals, you will be getting taxable value or not? Yes. That taxable value only you have to present. Is that clear? That is what you have to do. And one more thing, today I have asked you to proceed with that exports. No, in exports, how do you find the rate, sir? Rate, because it was there in dollars. No, in taxable value you cannot present in dollars, sir. It has to be there in rupees only. Then how you will present, sir? For that you have to move to CBEC exchange rate notifications. Like that one website, in CBEC exchange rate, latest exchange rates will be given. Just type in Google CBEC exchange rates. Then if you come, you will be getting this notification, sir, where you can see clearly what are the rates which will be available. So which rates are available now, you have to observe. So data wise they will be mentioning, sir. Country wise, if it is import, what is the currency rate? Export, what is the currency rate? Like that they will be mentioning. You please select it. Suppose it is dollars, you can take this export rate 81.05. If it is any other currency, euros, etc., take that euro, whatever here euro was there. Like that, take the rate given there. But which rate we have to take? Look at the date, sir. Suppose your transaction date is somewhere January 20th or something, then they will give the applicable from which date this notification will be applicable. This will be applicable from 3rd Feb, which will be applicable from 3rd Feb. That means before 3rd Feb, what we have to apply? There will be another notification, sir. They will be giving notifications time to time, 2 weeks once, like that. So from 20th January, the rates given in this PDF has to be followed. That means between 20th and 3rd, this one. After 3rd, that one. Now another notification was there, 5th January. That means 5th, between the effective date given in that PDF and next PDF, this rate has to be followed. So like that we have to observe which document is applicable. Is that clear? That is what, sir. With that we are ending today's session. So everybody, so hope you have understood. I have sent you the data. Please start practicing.